is a psychic development reading for Shattukite and gliding current. So, gliding current, when I was retrieving this daughter's code name, there were a lot of things coming through. So, I'm just going to try and remember everything. Okay. So, trying to think what to start with. Okay, I'll start with that. Okay, so the first thing that was coming through was a feeling of your daughter being very giving. That she's a very loving, very giving person. She cares about other people. She gets along with other people. And then there was a room that I pulled. This one is Gibo, and this really confirmed that because Gibo is all about gifts and not psychic gifts necessarily. This is more about things that you give to others, and so this was a confirmation of that she is a very giving person, and also that this is even where some of her gifts lie. For instance, if she were to develop psychic abilities, they would probably lie here in this category with like empathy, healing, this type of thing, because of how giving she is. So it would be like heart chakra gifts, even clairsentience, things like this. There were also some energies in her aura that, you know, I would kind of expect, which more felt like learning. Felt like she was learning things scholastically, and for some reason there was also a watch that I was seeing, and I'm not really sure what that had to do with yet. It was all kind of coming in quickly, so I don't know if this was like she's learning to tell the time, or if there's something else about time that your guides might want to bring up, or this might have to also do with a past life thing that also came up, because also right away I kept seeing this actually very big on the wall. It was like this big flash of and it just kind of stayed there for a few seconds too, of but out of the corner of my eye. So that's nice. But because in this case it looked like a gray or something. And you know, I tend to be kind of open, because sometimes something that looks a little bit negative to us is not really something with a negative intention at all. It's just, you know, its appearance or what have you. And it looked somehow a little bit creature-ish, sort of. Um, like not totally a typical gray looking kind of thing. So I thought for a second this could be a fairy or something. But as I was seeing these things before I was given the code name, then I was seeing this thing next to her, and I'm going to say this is a thought form. Like, I'm not 100% sure what it was. I'm figuring it's a thought form. But the thing that was coming in was that, so there was these energies like she's learning things scholastically, but then there was this energy like she already has kind of this way that she knows to view the world. And it was almost kind of coming in with a little bit of a negative thing. At first I wasn't really sure, like, okay, you know, maybe she is just different. Obviously she's different from the other daughter from C. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, maybe she's just not exactly meant to really develop psychic abilities in this lifetime, or she's not really meant to open up to that, because there was a feeling that she almost Like she may later down the road be very open, be very giving, be very loving, but not really believe in this stuff, which is okay if it's meant to be her path. So I was thinking, hey, maybe this is just her path or whatnot. But then I could feel distinctly that somehow um, her guides and your guides, there was this distinct feeling like, no, this is coming from this thing next to her. It's like as she gets older, it wants to give her this view of this kind of boxed way of looking at the world in a more kind of logical way. There was also another energy coming in with her, like she's very creative. That was another thing that was coming in around the scholastic thing when I was feeling that energy. Right before that, there was also an energy like she's very creative. Well, this goes along with the loving, gentle, empathic kind of giving personality, so a little bit more artistic, um, with how she could view things or how she should be viewing things. And so you have a very open-minded person here. You have a very creative and very loving, joyous energy here with Shattukite. And then you have this other thing here that wants to kind of like block it, I guess you could say, or almost twist the view on things, so that now normally naturally we could look at it in this way, but it wants to get her to look at it in this other way. And so I thought, okay, what is this from? Is this like some gray, like is she being abducted or something? And that didn't make that much sense to me. But whatever her guides say, I'm gonna be open to it and say whatever it is. But then it was feeling like, no, this is actually a past lifetime. So it almost felt like as someone in the past, she was abducted. And so then that did kind of confirm to me that yes, this must be a thought form, not like an actual entity or something. This is just some kind of thought form that she just carried over from these beings into. Okay. So this is just some kind of thought form that she carried over into this lifetime. And then the reason for the Shattukite was, so I started pulling my crystals. I pulled the room, and then I pulled my rose quartz here, which this is all the heart chakra, so very healing, very loving, unconditionally loving, giving stone, harmonious. So matching the energies that I was feeling for her or from her. And then this is the Shattukite. And I wasn't expecting to pull the Shattukite, like the rose quartz. I would almost assume that because of the energies that were coming in, that came to me right away. The rose quartz, that didn't really surprise me. And then I felt this one. The reason I wasn't sure about this one is because, like I said, I wasn't sure, okay, maybe this is just her path or something, to not really look into this or develop this much. And so then I pulled this one, and this is a psychic stone. But then I felt to read about the meaning of it in a little bit more detail. And in my notes over here, I actually posted a link, and I'll send you this link as well. And I want to be a little quick here about it because I don't want my camera to start freezing too much since I have my internet open. But this was all about psychic communication. Okay, and that's the other thing. Oh, I'm looking over here, over here now. Camera's here, webcam picture thingy is over there. Okay, but and what I'm reading is over here. But this is, yeah, this is all about communication with the spirit world and with your guides and even loved ones who passed over. Saying it was a lot about communication. But when I started pulling out the crystals, setting up my sacred space, I was actually guided to play a throat chakra chant. And so obviously, you know, this is all about communication also. But then the thing that was sticking out here, also the Shattukite has to do with psychic protection. It protects you psychically. But there was something down here I want to find. Um, da, 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 da. Okay, here's the spot that I found very interesting. So this one sentence here. It is also a powerful stone for psychically protecting you and will protect you against possession during channeling. It will also remove hypnotic commands and edicts against using your psychic vision. And this may even apply to past life curses or commands for secrecy. So that was a big confirmation right there for what I had received when I was seeing this gray. And there was this feeling that this was coming from a past life, um, and that this was somehow getting her to view the world in a logical way and not really look into anything of a psychic nature or of a spiritual nature or be able to open up to that later on. So, since Shattukite is her code name, and I know you've been buying crystals for your daughters already, this is definitely one to get for Shattukite. So get some Shattukite for a Shattukite. Like it is such a strong message that it literally came in as the code name. So again, I'm getting this feeling, so I don't feel that she's meant to close off to her psychic abilities, but she could. And she would have more of a chance than doing that than the other daughter would. And again, her guides are coming in with these energies, like her abilities would especially have to do with um, her love for others and going out of her way for others. Serving herself too, guides love to mention this. A lot of people in the spiritual community forget that, so I can see why. They tend to put others first, especially if they have these types of gifts. So serving herself too, it's not just about serving others. However, these are where her gifts would lie. What is my computer doing? Okay, came up with a page. Okay, that's right. Yeah, no, I haven't. Okay, so I surrounded us in the light to get the code name, but here I go again. Uh, oh, geez, they want me to pull up your picture too. So I'm going to surround myself, and then I'm going to surround you, gliding current, and then the daughter Shattukite. Oops. Blew up your picture a little too much. Oh, there it goes again. I don't know why this thing just decides to do this. Like when, oh geez, whenever I'm moving these pictures, sometimes it just blows them up so big for no reason. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Anyway, my computer's getting very trigger happy. Here I go. So I'm using the Shattukite, obviously, to surround myself. For the code name, I actually used the rose quartz. Okay. Oops. Okay, so as I'm surrounding myself, this was one thing that I actually forgot from before. I didn't realize it was important either, but apparently it is because it's happening again. But when I was surrounding um, Shattukite in the positive energy before, and I was using the rose quartz, both when I surrounded myself and when I surrounded her, the energy was coming like extremely, extremely close and outlining like the whole body. Like it wasn't just going in a circle, but it was coming down the arm and then coming up the arm and then down. So, and now as I'm surrounding myself with the Shattukite again, that's happening. And I get the feeling that this is almost like a shield or something, that they're almost talking about shielding her energy field. And not only because of the way it's coming in, how close it is and how that feels, but also because now they're giving me this picture. Oh, and I'm looking in the camera and Ganesha has his hand up here too. But they were showing me this hand, which kind of looked. It looked like I don't. I think maybe this is a Jewish symbol. I'm not sure if it's Jewish or Moroccan. Okay, because my in-laws are Jewish and they're Moroccan, and they have it up everywhere. And it's like a hand of God. I should find that maybe so you know exactly what I'm talking about. You might know what I mean, but it doesn't look like this hand. It's not just a hand. It has some kind of like symbol in it. Um, so they're showing me that also, and that you could hang up something that means protection. It means she's watched over. Like someone is watching over her. Someone is protecting her from any kind of negative influence. So the other daughter, Z, like she's more sensitive to these things. So she'd be able to really feel these things, pick up on these things. And this daughter from that other lifetime may have lost some of these sensitivities. And this almost felt like something that they did to her brain. And I'm getting this energy, which actually makes sense. The councils talk to me about, the grays and DNA, how they change DNA and things like that. And they've also mentioned before that they kind of want to keep humanity dumbed down. And this was about the reptilians too. They've said this. They don't really want them to come into their psychic potential, but they've never really talked in great detail about all the different things that the Greys are doing. So this feels slightly different than just pulling things from someone, experimenting on them, and pulling stuff from them. Since the Greys, they wrecked their DNA, they want to repair it. This also feels like a thing like they did something to almost like keep the psychic abilities from really coming to the forefront, from really being pronounced, which they could have been. Now, they're also giving me a feeling, I don't feel like they really want to get into a lot of detail about it here because they have some other things that they want to cover. But I feel here that there is a past lifetime where this daughter was actually using her psychic abilities well. And she was using them all the time. She was using them often. And again, this feels like almost like to help others. But I feel like she's lost some of this sensitivity. I also feel like she wanted to. She wanted to lose some of the sensitivity. She didn't want to be as sensitive. Because when you have an experience like that, something negative and kind of in the psychic arena, even though it's more physical, it's aliens, but still, it is kind of it is like a metaphysical thing. You wouldn't want to be as sensitive, and so this almost allows it. Um, So it's almost like if we're speaking on a higher level here, some people would allow this treatment to work and click in their minds, and now they don't have psychic abilities anymore, um, or they would have trouble handling the experiences otherwise. So I even get the feeling it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like it could really be on like a higher level, like your guides are coming through it. It can actually be um, a higher aspect of themselves that goes ahead and allows it because they know, okay, I can't handle on this lower level of myself, I cannot handle being so sensitive when this is going on. Okay, so I have my Shattukite here again. I am surrounding gliding current. There's a really peaceful energy coming in as I'm surrounding you. It feels like your guides are saying you're going to know what to do. Oh, and they're they're reminding me. I know you can't see it, but these earrings that I have on are actually dice, and you got a 5-5 confirmation again that they're reminding me of because when I put the dice on, um, and I put this one in, and I saw in the mirror it went to a 5, and I'm not thinking about it. And then I put this one in, and I'm turning it around, and it's not like matching. because like one was going up one way and one was down the other way, and then I realized, oh, okay, it's because the numbers aren't matching, so the dice aren't facing the same way. So I turned it to face the same way, and then it was a 5, and then I look in and I see the 5 5, and I'm like, oh geez, there's another 5 5 for a gliding current. You've got all these 5 5s coming in. That was crazy last time. I still don't know what fell. Like there was nothing in here that fell. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and surround Shattukite now, and we're almost up with our time here. So I'm actually surrounding you guys at the very end of the reading, but that's okay because I already surrounded you once before the reading began. So okay, so I'm actually going to use my room here to surround her this time. So what the energy coming in feels like it's saying, what it's saying is that she will be able to help people more with her gifts, psychically as well. So it's like she would help people less if she were less open to this. She could still, she could still achieve a lot in her lifetime. But this area would be lacking. And again, it's not that that's bad if that were what she were really meant to do in the lifetime. The only reason that the only reason they would bring it up is because it's this thought form blocking it. So she'll help people more in her lifetime. She'll be able to do more for others in the way that she would want if these were intact. It doesn't necessarily mean she's going to go off and be a medium or a psychic or a healer or something. But I feel, especially like with her communication, this feels more like healing to me, but also her communication. So how she is able to feel people and comfort people. So not just all psychic, like see a bunch of pictures in your head, see a bunch of fancy pictures. They're saying fancy, see a bunch of fancy, sparkly pictures. So they mean something a little bit more down to earth. It would be down to earth. And they're coming in almost like that kind of helpful. So this can help. But so can these other things that we wouldn't necessarily put in the realm of psychic abilities right off. We don't always realize what they are. But she will help people more with those intact. And if she knows that she uses them and she's open to that way of thinking. Okay. Okay, so the last thing that I feel like they're giving you a hug and they're just saying you're doing well, and that's for you, gliding current. So they want you to know that you are doing well. but they don't really want to add a lot onto that, as you know already. So okay, so I feel like I'm just coming down from these energies. So our time is up. Thank you so much for allowing me once again to do this reading for you, Gliding Current, and also Shattukite. And I really hope that this helps you in some way. Thank you.